Welcome back to the channel where we spill all the hottest celebrity tea without holding back. Today we're diving headfirst into the absolute chaos that went down on Loose Women when the legendary Rod Stewart appeared as a guest and, according to multiple reports flying around the internet, completely lost his cool with panel favorite Denise Welch. The headline screaming across tabloids right now is Rod Stewart kicked off Loose Women after firing exchange with Denise Welch, and trust me, the footage and insider whispers are wild. Apparently what started as a light-hearted chat about music, aging in the spotlight and Rod's famous model railway hobby quickly spiraled into a full-blown shouting match that left the studio stunned and producers scrambling to cut to an emergency break. Fans are divided, some calling Rod an absolute king for not taking any nonsense, others saying Denise pushed him too far, while others think the rock star was rude and out of order on a daytime show. By the end of this script we'll have looked at every angle, every clip that's surfaced, every tweet, and we'll decide together who was really in the wrong. So grab your cuppa, get comfy, because this story is messy and magnificent. Let's set the scene properly because context is everything. Rod Stewart was booked on Loose Women to promote his new swing album and upcoming tour dates. Nothing controversial on paper. He walked out to massive applause, looking sharp as ever in a blazer and his signature spiky hair, hugging all the panelists including Denise Welch, Janet Street Porter, Jane Moore and host Christine Lampard. The first 10 minutes were pure sugar, Rod joking about being married to Penny Lancaster, telling stories about the Faces days, even flirting harmlessly with the audience. Then the topic turned to his comments in a recent interview where he said he's too old for cancel culture and doesn't care what people think anymore at 80 years old. Denise Welch, who's never exactly shy about sharing her opinions, chimed in saying something along the lines of, "Well Rod, some of us have suffered real mental health damage from things said online and in the press. It's not that easy to just brush off." Rod laughed it off at first, but you could see his smile tighten. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the spark. From there it escalated faster than anyone expected. Denise kept pushing the point, saying that celebrities like Rod have always had privilege and thick skin because they were never attacked the way women in the public eye are today, especially over politics and parenting choices. She brought up her own experiences with trolling after speaking out about Meghan Markle and COVID vaccines, basically implying Rod couldn't possibly understand real backlash. Rod's face changed completely. He leaned forward and said, "Darlin', I've been called every name under the sun since 1969. I've had bottles thrown at me, I've been arrested, I've had the taxman after me. Don't tell me I don't know about backlash." The audience gave a little because the tone had shifted. Denise fired back that it's different now with social media pylons and mental health crisis among young people. Rod interrupted her mid-sentence with, "Oh come off it. It's the same nonsense, just faster. People have always been vicious, you'll just cry about it more now." You could hear an audible gasp in the studio. That's when it properly kicked off, Denise said with respect to Rod. "That's an incredibly dismissive thing to say to someone who's attempted suicide because of press intrusion, bringing up her own very personal history." Rod replied, "I'm sorry you went through that, love, truly. But don't sit there on national television telling me I've had it easy or that I'm out of touch when I've worked since I was 15 and supported half of bloody Britain with my taxes." The other panelists tried to jump in and calm things, Jane Moore saying, "Let's take a breath everyone." But Rod was in full flow now. He accused the panel of always ganging up on older blokes and said Loose Women had become a bloody echo chamber. Denise called him patronizing. He called her a snowflake. She told her to toughen up. And then, the moment that has gone mega viral, he allegedly said maybe if you spent less time on Twitter and more time with your family you'd be happier. The studio went silent. Even the audience stopped cheering. At that point producers cut to an ad break early, but not before Rod stood up, took his mic pack off, threw it on the chair and said loud enough for the front row to hear, "I'm not sitting here to be lectured by you, pet." According to reports from people in the audience that day, he walked straight off set, past a stunt crew, and out of the building. ITV have refused to air the full segment, instead showing a heavily edited version where the argument is trimmed to about 40 seconds and ends with Christine saying, "We'll be right back." But audience members filmed on their phones and those clips are everywhere now, racking up millions of views. Denise stayed on after the break, visibly shaken but defiant, saying she stands by every word and that older male celebrities need to realize the world has changed. Social media immediately exploded. #Rod Stewart trends worldwide, half the timeline calling him a legend, the other half saying he was bang out of order and should apologize. So who's in the right here? Honestly, it's complicated. Rod Stewart has never been one to suffer fools, and at 80 he clearly doesn't feel the need to play the PR game anymore. Fair enough. Denise Welch has been open about her mental health struggles and the abuse she's received. Also fair. The clash feels like a generational and gender divide exploding in real time. Old school rock star swagger versus modern sensitivity around language and trauma. Some say loose women ambushed him. Others say he was booked on a panel famous for strong opinions and should have expected pushback. ITV are reportedly furious because they lost a big booking and it turned into a PR disaster, while Rod's team say he's laughing about it and has already joked on stage at his Belfast gig. "I got thrown off Loose Women faster than I got thrown out of the Savoy in 1974. Love him or loathe him, Sir Rod certainly reminded everyone he still got that rebellious fire." Let's go deeper because this drama has more layers than a Victoria sponge and the internet simply cannot stop heating up. Since those phone clips leaked, Denise Welch has been on a full media blitz. She went live on her own Instagram within hours, eyes still red from the studio, saying she was absolutely gobsmacked that a knight of the realm would speak to a woman like that on live television. She claimed Rod's Snowflake comment was the tip of the iceberg and that off-camera, once his mic was removed, he apparently muttered something about hysterical women ruining daytime TV as he stormed past the green room. Whether that's 100% true or not, it now forms part of the gospel according to Denise's 900K followers. Meanwhile, Rod has stayed relatively quiet on social media, only posting a picture of his model railway with the caption "Calmer hobbies these days, a broken bar mostly." The shade was not subtle and his fans treated it like the mic drop of the century. Bookmakers have even opened odds on whether he'll send her flowers or completely blank her at the next ITV Christmas party. The Loose Women studio audience that day has turned into the gift that keeps on giving. A woman called Sharon from Birmingham has become a TikTok star overnight after her shaky footage showed the exact moment Rod threw his mic pack so hard it bounced off the chair and nearly hit a runner. Sharon's video currently sits at 28 million views and counting. She's been doing reaction stitches non-stop, reading out angry comments from Gen Z calling Rod a boomer dinosaur and then reading out comments from 50-plus men calling Denise an attention-seeking harpy. Sharon just sits there eating popcorn, loving every second of the chaos she accidentally filmed. Other audience members have sold their stories to the papers. One claims Penny Lancaster was waiting in the car outside and Rod got in shouting "never again. Those women are bloody vipers." Penny apparently just laughed and said "welcome to my world, darling." Whether that's embellished or not, the image of Lady Lancaster smirking in a Range Rover is iconic. Celebrity reactions have been pouring in and they are splitting exactly how you'd expect. Piers Morgan obviously waiting on Talk TV calling Rod a national treasure who told the truth about the woke brigade and said Denise should get a grip. Lorraine Kelly stayed diplomatically neutral but you could see her face screaming awkward. Amanda Holden posted a cryptic Instagram story of a lion with the caption "Some people still have a backbone." Everyone took that as pro-Rod. Meanwhile, Susanna Reid on Good Morning Britain said there's a way to disagree without personal insults, which everyone took as pro-Denise. Even American stars are getting involved. Bette Midler quote tweeted a clip with "Men really don't change, do they?" While Ozzy Osbourne apparently texted Rod and said "nice one mate, I'd have bitten her head off." The whole thing has gone properly transatlantic and shows no sign of dying down before Christmas. Behind the scenes at ITV it's reportedly total panic stations. Sources say bosses held an emergency meeting the same afternoon because they're terrified of losing big-name bookings if male guests now think they'll be ganged up on. One producer allegedly told staff "we can't have Loose Women turning into a gladiator arena every time someone over 70 comes on." There's already talk of introducing new guidelines about respectful disagreement and pre-interview calls to warn guests the panel can be spicy. At the same time, viewing figures for that episode were the highest in 2 years once the clips went viral, so someone in marketing is secretly thrilled. Denise has been told to take a week off for her well-being, but insiders say it's also to let the heat die down before she's back on screen crying or swinging again. Rod's people have confirmed he will not be returning to apologize and has already turned down this morning's invitation to clear the air. Now the memes are out of control and genuinely hilarious. Someone superimposed Rod's head on the WWE wrestler Stone Cold Steve Austin walking out with 2 middle fingers up. Another popular one is the clip of him saying, "I'm not sitting here to be lectured by you, Pat." Slow down with Curb Your Enthusiasm music over it. There's a trending sound on TikTok where young girls act out being Denise dramatically clutching pearls, and then a 70-year-old filter comes on saying "toughen up." Snowflake in Rod's voice. Even the official Brit Awards account got involved, tweeting, "When you've presented Rod Stewart with a Lifetime Award and now he's presenting Lifetime Awards to everyone else with a crying laughing emoji, brands are trying to cash in too." A railway modeling company posted "Build a layout, not an argument" with a picture of Rod's famous loft setup, and sales apparently went up 400%. This fight is literally paying people's mortgages at this point. So where does this leave us? 2 British icons who have both survived decades in the spotlight, both known for speaking their mind, both refusing to back down. Age, gender, class, social media, mental health, cancel culture. The entire state of modern Britain got crammed into one 10-minute shouting match on a Wednesday lunchtime. Maybe that's why we can't stop watching. Rod Stewart reminded everyone he became a star by kicking down doors, and he's not about to stop now he's 80. Denise Welch reminded everyone she's fought her own battles and won't be patronized by anyone, knight or not. Love them, hate them, or love to hate them. They both played their parts perfectly and gave us a piece of television chaos we'll still be talking about at New Year's Eve parties. My final verdict: nobody was the hero, nobody was the villain, but daytime TV just grew a massive pair of balls, and I'm here for every second of it. Let's talk about the moment this whole saga officially became bigger than both of them combined. By Thursday morning, Rod Stewart vs. Denise Welch had overtaken every single political story on the UK trending list, even beating the budget fallout. The Sun ran the splash Sir Rod boots loose women OFF air with a massive picture of him striding out looking furious. The Daily Mail went with Snowflake storm off. Rock legend Rod storms out after clash with woke Welch. Meanwhile, the Mirror backed Denise with brave Denise stands up to bully boy Rod and printed side-by-side photos of her looking tearful and him smirking. Every newspaper picked a lane and ran a mile with it. BBC Breakfast even opened with the clip, and Hugh Edwards' old replacement looked physically uncomfortable discussing it. Someone made a petition on change.org titled "Ban Rod Stewart from ITV for Misogyny" that got 40,000 signatures in a day. Then a counter-petition "Knight Rod Stewart for Services to Free Speech" got 80,000 in the same time. Britain is properly split down the middle and loving the fight. The royal family almost got dragged in because of one tiny detail nobody saw coming. Eagle-eyed viewers noticed that when Rod was listing all the hardships he'd been through, he said, "I've sung for the King, the Queen, Princess Diana. I've paid more tax than half the BBC put together." Denise snapped back, "And some of us have actually met the royals without needing to brag about it every 5 minutes." Turns out Denise was a guest at Charles and Camilla's wedding in 2005 because of her Corey connections, and she's been quietly pro-Republican for years. Suddenly royal reporters started digging up old interviews where she called the monarchy outdated pageantry, and Rod has always been loudly royalist, even dedicating "Do You Think I'm Sexy" to Princess Margaret back in the day. Twitter decided this was secretly a palace civil war by proxy and started posting photoshopped images of King Charles watching the clip on an iPad with Rishi Sunak, both pulling the same horrified face. The actual palace has said nothing, but Clarence House liked Rod's model railway photo 2 hours later and everyone lost their minds again. International outlets have now picked it up and the translations are comedy gold. In America, TMZ called it British Grandpa Goes Nuclear on talk show Harpy and played the clip with dramatic music like it was UFC. In France, Le Parisien went with Rod Stewart, 80ans, Quit avec fracas un a tilde copyright mission f a tilde copyright mine après tilde diaresis s avoyer trait a tilde copyright unanimatrice de a flacon de neige. The German-billed headline simply screamed "O Père Rod rastet aus," which means Grandpa Rod freaks out, and used a picture of him from 1978 with the spiky hair. Australian breakfast shows are replaying it every hour because Denise is married to an Aussie and they're claiming her as one of theirs now. Even Japanese news ran a segment with anime-style reenactments of Rod throwing the mic pack like a paquet tilde copyright moan attack. The whole world is treating it like a soap opera and the UK is just sitting here thinking, yeah, that's literally just Wednesday lunchtime telly for us. Merchandise dropped faster than you can say "Da ya think I'm sexy." By Friday there were Etsy shops selling mugs that say "Don't lecture me," pet on one side and toughen up, Snowflake on the other, a t-shirt with Rod's face over the Union Jack and the words "licensed to offend since 1945" sold out in 3 hours. Someone else is selling Christmas baubles with Denise's tearful face and the caption "Triggered." A brewery in Manchester released a limited IPA called Hot Legs, Cold Shoulder with Rod on the can kicking a TV. Another brewery in Essex countered with Maggie May contained strong opinions featuring Denise holding a megaphone. Wetherspoon started doing a cocktail called the Snowflake Storm Off, half blue cure a tilde section L, half whiskey, served with a tiny umbrella and a middle finger straw. People are actually going out in public wearing the merch and filming the arguments in pubs. It's turned into a full-blown culture war fancy dress party. The bookies have gone completely mad now. You can bet on everything from will Rod and Denise be in the same room before 2026? Odds 8-1 no, to which one will be on I'm a Celebrity first? Denise favorite at 3-1. There's a market on whether Rod will reference the row in his next concert. Currently 1/10 yes because he already did it in Belfast within 48 hours. Someone's even running odds on Prince William being asked about it at his next engagement, paying 25-1 if he says the word snowflake in public. Meanwhile the Loose Women WhatsApp group is reportedly on fire with the other panelists taking sides. Nadia Sawalha and Kay Adams fully team Denise, Janet Street Porter refusing to pick because she hates them both equally, and Colleen Nolan apparently sent a voice note saying "I've worked with Rod in Vegas. He's always been a cheeky sod, but Denise did go in hard." The voice note leaked, obviously, and is now a ringtone. Where does this madness end? Probably never. This fight has become British culture's version of the 1966 World Cup final, something we'll still be arguing about in pubs in 2050. Rod Stewart has cemented his status as the last rock star who genuinely does not give a single toss, and Denise Welch has reminded everyone she will go to war for what she believes in. Consequences be damned. ITV quietly loves the ratings, the papers love the sales, social media loves the content, and the public loves having something to scream about that isn't politics or the cost of living. In a weird way they've done us all a favor, given us pure, unfiltered, chaotic entertainment that feels like the old days before everything was focus grouped to death. So thank you Sir Rod, thank you Denise, for 10 glorious minutes of proper shouting on a sofa. The great British public salutes you both. Now please never apologize, never reconcile, and keep giving us chaos forever. 4 days after the explosion and the story has taken yet another insane turn that nobody predicted. Rod Stewart played the O2 last night and during the encore, instead of doing his usual sailing closer, he brought out a full brass section and debuted a brand new 2-minute swing parody he'd clearly written on the tour bus titled "Don't Cry for Me Loose Women." The lyrics included lyrics where "I told her toughen up pet, she took it like a personal threat, now she's on the telly upset. But Maggie May's still got no regret." The crowd of 20,000 went absolutely feral, half laughing, half roaring approval, and phone lights turned the arena into a sea of middle fingers. Someone in the front row threw a packet of tissues on stage with "For Denise" written on it and Rod kicked it into the pin like a football. The clip is already the most viewed UK TikTok of the year at 87 million and climbing. Denise watched it from her sofa, posted a 10-second Instagram story of her slowly clapping with the caption "Classy as ever, Sir Roderick," and the internet spontaneously combusted again. ITV executives are now in full damage control meltdown because Ofcom has received over 4,200 complaints, the biggest spike for a daytime show since the Philip Schofield affair. Most complaints are split 50-50, half saying Rod's behavior was misogynistic and brought the tone of broadcasting into disrepute, the other half saying the show deliberately provoked and humiliated an 80-year-old pensioner for clicks. Ofcom has confirmed they're assessing, but insiders say they're terrified of ruling either way because whichever side loses will riot on social media. Meanwhile, the Loose Women official account posted a throwback clip of Rod's previous appearance in 2016 where he kissed every panelist on the cheek and called them lovely ladies, with the caption "Simpler times a currency I diaresis sedilla." The comment section immediately turned into a war zone with people replying "You ambushed him and he showed his true colors." They've now disabled comments on every post going back 5 years. Absolute scenes. The most unexpected fallout is that Rod's album sales and streams have gone through the roof. His new swing record jumped from number 62 to number 3 on the UK album chart midweek, his highest position in 45 years, purely on the back of this drama. Teenagers who weren't even born when Maggie May came out are streaming it ironically, then accidentally becoming genuine fans. Record stores have sold out of his vinyl back catalog, and HMV put up cardboard cutouts of Rod with a speech bubble saying "I do not accept lectures." Meanwhile, Denise's 2022 memoir shot from obscurity into the Amazon Top 100 because people want to read the chapter where she talks about press intrusion and suicidal thoughts. Both of them are making an absolute fortune from hating each other, and neither looks remotely sad about it. Capitalist chaos at its finest. And finally, the cherry on top, Buckingham Palace has confirmed that Rod Stewart will still receive his knighthood investiture from Prince William next month as planned. A royal source told The Telegraph His Majesty found the entire episode rather amusing in private but has no intention of withdrawing an honor voted on by an independent committee years ago. Translation: even the king is Team Rod, or at least refusing to cancel him. Bookies have slashed odds on Rod wearing a custom blazer to the ceremony with toughen-up pet embroidered inside the collar, and William being forced to keep a straight face while pinning the medal. Denise has been invited to the same BBC Radio 2 Christmas concert as Rod next month and has already confirmed she's going. Producers are reportedly begging them to do a joint interview to bury the hatchet. Both camps said no within seconds of each other. Christmas television is going to be glorious warfare, and I, for one, already have the popcorn on order. Stay tuned, legends. This saga still has legs hotter than Rod's in 1976.